Good morning, students. Once again, we continue with the Tempest, Act 5, Scene 1, and we have finished up to page 113 in our previous class and in my previous video too. So now, today we will start from page 114. So all of you, please take out your textbooks and get ready for your class. And please listen carefully as I explain line by line so that there is no confusion once you have gone through the portion of the text which I am going to explain today. So on your screen now we have page 114 and here we have line 225. Now in line 225 we have Prospero's speech. There sir, stop. He says, there sir, stop. This is being said to Alonso because in the exactly previous line we had Alonso saying that I am also Miranda's father, in a way father-in-law, and he went on to say that he finds it very odd to ask forgiveness of his child. Now anyway, Prospero asks him to stop and he says, there sir, stop, let us not burden our remembrance with a heaviness that's gone. Let us not burden our hearts with thoughts of what has already happened. So the past is past. Let's forget the past. Let's rejoice. Let's think positive and let's think about the future which lies ahead, because now everything is going to be positive. And then Gonzalo speaks up. He says, I have inly wept, or should have spoke this. I was actually crying inside, though I did not display my crying expression, but I was actually crying inside my heart, and that's why I did not speak earlier. Otherwise, I would have spoken before this. This means before this. Look down, you gods, and then he raises his hands. You can imagine that Gonzalo is standing and raising his hands and looking up towards the sky, and he says, he's invoking the gods of heaven. He says that, O gods of heaven, look down upon this beautiful couple, referring to Ferdinand and Miranda. Drop a blessed crown, for it is you that have chalked forth the way which brought us hither. Because it is you, O gods of heaven, because of whom we have come here. Hither means here. And please bless this couple. Please shower down your blessings upon this couple. So he says that we couldn't have possibly come here if the gods of heaven did not bring us here. So may you, gods, shower blessings upon this couple and make them happy in their reign at Naples. That means when they wear the crown, when they become king and queen of Naples, please bless them, O gods of heaven, so that they have a happy reign. As long as they live and rule, they live happily ever after. So this is Gonzalo. He always thinks positive, and whenever it comes to the royalty, the royal family, the king and his family, he always thinks positive and wishes them good, and this is why he is considered to be a loyal counselor of Naples. Now then Prospero, in fact he continues, Alonso continues. He says, I say amen, Gonzalo. So when Gonzalo has said this, Alonso says, I say amen. Now remember, this pronunciation is amen and not amen. Many people pronounce it as amen. It's amen, and it means let it be so, or so be it. The meaning is explained alongside. You can see the meaning. So I say amen, Gonzalo. Gonzalo says, was Milan thrust from Milan that his issue should become king of Naples? Gonzalo is expressing wonder. He says that was Milan, meaning the Duke of Milan, that means Prospero, was Milan thrust, meaning to say exiled or expelled from Milan. Milan, the second Milan, refers to the kingdom of, or the dukedom of Milan. So what he means to say here is that was the Duke of Milan exiled from the dukedom of Milan so that his future generations, his issue refers to his grandchildren and great-grandchildren, should become the kings of Naples. Why? Because had Prospero not been exiled from Milan, he wouldn't have ended up in this island, and then this shipwreck would not have happened, and then the Prince of Naples, Ferdinand, would not have possibly met Miranda, Prospero's daughter, after all these years, and wouldn't have fallen in love. The two of them wouldn't have fallen in love, and now their love is going to culminate in marriage, and in the future, their children, their son and their grandchildren will go on to become kings of Naples. So that is the reason why Gonzalo says, was Milan thrust from Milan that his grandchildren should become king of Naples? Oh, rejoice beyond a common joy. Oh, let us celebrate. Rejoice means let us enjoy, celebrate beyond all measures of celebration. That means let us rejoice to the utmost. Let us rejoice as much as we can, and set it down with gold on lasting pillars. Meaning to say, let us inscribe this entire incident, whatever has happened so far, let it be written in letters of gold on permanent pillars. On lasting pillars means permanent pillars. So in the olden times, the kings would construct edicts and pillars and structures, and there would be many messages inscribed on them for the general public. So in tune with that, Gonzalo means to say that let this entire episode of how we got shipwrecked and how we came to this uninhabited island and how we found the exiled Duke of Milan and how we also found Ferdinand back, though we thought that he was dead. All these things, the entire episode of whatever has happened during the course of these 3 hours. Remember that the reference of 3 hours is very important. So let this all be written in letters of gold on lasting pillars for people in future to read them and to think about what had happened in the past. That is what is happening here right now. So in one voyage did Claribel her husband find at Tunis, and Ferdinand her brother found a wife. So in just one voyage by sea, two things have happened. Two good things have happened. First is that Claribel, remember Claribel? Claribel was the daughter of Alonso, so Ferdinand's sister. So they had actually gone for the marriage of Claribel in Tunis. So in one voyage, not only has Claribel, the princess of Naples, found her husband in Tunis, but also the Prince of Naples, Ferdinand, has found his wife. So it is such a double reason to be joyful, to celebrate. So we have two reasons. The joy has doubled because there are two unions here, two sets of couples you have here. On one hand, you have Claribel, the princess of Naples, who found a husband in Tunis, and on the other hand, while returning from the marriage from Tunis towards Naples, we have come to this island where Ferdinand has found a suitable wife for himself too. So we have double joy in a single voyage. So where he himself was lost. So Ferdinand, who himself was lost, he lost his way, he got separated from all of us, but ultimately this losing his way, getting separated from all of us, actually has given him this opportunity to find Miranda. So that is how two things have happened at the same time or simultaneously. So I hope I have been able to make you understand. Read the lines over and over again, and in case you don't understand, listen to my explanation again thoroughly. Replay this video in this area and listen carefully so that you understand what I mean to say. Now he says that Prospero his dukedom in a poor isle, and all of us ourselves when no man was his own. So in this single voyage, not only has the marriage of Claribel become possible, not only has Ferdinand found a wife for himself, but also Prospero has got back his dukedom, and Prospero his dukedom in a poor isle. He was living in this poor island, but now he has got back his dukedom, and all of us ourselves, when no man was his own. This is what refers to the regaining of their senses. Remember that they were under a spell which was cast on them by Prospero's liberal art with the help of Ariel, and the spell has disappeared. So they have come back to they have been restored back to their senses. So what are the four things that have happened? Claribel has got married in Tunis. Ferdinand has found Miranda and will get married to her. Prospero has got back his dukedom Milan, and all the rest, the entire royal party, including Alonso Gonzalo, Adrian, Francisco, and everyone else, they were lost. They were completely dazed. They were completely confused, and their reasoning ability was gone. But now they have all got back their senses. So this is what Gonzalo is talking about. Now, this speech of Gonzalo is important for reference to the context type questions. That is why I am taking time to explain this in detail. So please do line by line, please understand so that there is no confusion. Now, moving on to what Alonso says after this. Alonso speaks to Ferdinand and Miranda and says, "Give me your hands. Let grief and sorrow still embrace his heart that doth not wish you joy." Let grief and sorrow come upon that person who does not wish you happiness. Give me your hands. I want to wish you happiness. I want to bless you. So there was no COVID-19 at that time, so social distancing was not necessary, and being a father and father-in-law, he takes the hands of his own son and his daughter-in-law, and he wishes them good luck, happiness, and blesses them. So this is what he is doing. And he says that anyone who at this juncture who does not want to wish you joy, let that person suffer from sorrow and grief forever. So who would not wish them joy? In fact, everyone would wish them joy. And then Gonzalo says, "Be it so, amen." So just as earlier Alonso said amen, this time it is the turn of Gonzalo, and he says, "Let it be so, amen." Amen also means let it be so. So then re-enter Ariel with the master and boatswain amazedly following. Now what has happened? In the meantime, as we know that Ariel had gone to fetch the ship from the islands, from near the islands of Bermudas, and from there he has brought back the ship. Within a few seconds, the ship is back to the coast of this desert island or Prospero's island, and the boatswain and the master of the ship, these two are the main people. The master is the captain of the ship and the boatswain is the first officer. These two people, the sailors are still on board the ship. Now these two people have been brought before Prospero's cell by Ariel. In the same way as Prospero has brought all the other characters, he has played some kind of music in the air, and the master and the boatswain, with amazed looks in their eyes, have followed the sound, and in the process, just as Ferdinand, just as Alonso and the others, just as these royal people had reached earlier this area before Prospero's cell, in the same way the master of the ship or the captain of the ship, whom we met in Act 1, Scene 1, and the boatswain who was trying desperately to save the ship, these two have also arrived here. "Oh, look, sir, here is more of us." Gonzalo is really surprised, and he points at them and he says to Alonso, "Sir, please look, please have a look. Here is more of us," meaning to say more people from our group. Here is more of us means more people from our group. I prophesied, if a gallows were on land, this fellow could not drown. Remember that I had predicted. Prophesied means I had made this prophecy, or I had predicted or had told this at that time when the ship was in turmoil, that this guy, his complexion is perfect gallows. Remember, this was the exact phrase used by Gonzalo in Act 1, Scene 1. You can turn the pages and go to that act, go to that scene, and you can look up you will find that he had said this, that this guy is not going to die by drowning. This guy will die at the gallows because he is so ill-mannered and he has a bad mouth. He does not know how to show respect. So for all this kind of behavior, he will be punished by being hanged to death. So this guy deserves to die at the gallows. I had said this, sir. Now see, he is still alive. He did not drown. If gallows were on land, this fellow could not drown. This is what I had said. Now, blasphemy. Once again, Gonzalo starts abusing the boatswain and calls him blasphemy. Now, the meaning of blasphemy is explained here. Gonzalo now addresses the boatswain as blasphemy, meaning that he is blasphemous because he is in the habit of swearing oaths. Swearing oaths means what? Cursing, using bad words. Okay, so he says, now blasphemy, what are you going to say? So now blasphemy, and we move on to page 115. That swearest grace overboard. You are such a person, you are so blasphemous, so bad mouth, that you can actually drive away grace or mercy of God overboard. Meaning is explained alongside, you can see. Now you swearer who sent mercy of God overboard, not an oath on shore. What happened to you? Now you are not speaking at all. You are completely quiet. Not an oath on shore. Hast thou no mouth by land? What is the news? Don't you have a mouth when you come upon solid ground or land? What happened to your voice now? Why aren't you speaking? Boatswain says, the best news is that we have safely found our king and company. The best of all the news is the fact that we have found not only our king but all the rest of his royal companions. The next, our ship, and we we have also found the ship, which but 3 glasses since we gave out split, is right and yare and bravely rigged as when we first put out to sea. And the first best thing is that we have found the king and the royal companions of the king. And the second best thing is that we have found our ship, and the ship looks fit and fine, just as it looked when we had started our voyage from Naples. Everything is in order, nothing has happened to the ship. It looks perfectly all right, well fitted with all its equipments, and there is absolutely no blemish on the ship. So it looks brand new and it looks fresh. So these are the 2 best things that I can talk about. So bravely rigged means bravely, nicely equipped. Brave means fine, or really, really good, or something which is really maintained well. So it is bravely equipped, just like when we had first put out to the sea in our ship. So Ariel in the meantime speaks aside to Prospero, because Ariel has finished his job and Ariel is once again wanting some praise from Prospero, and also maybe he's thinking about when Prospero is going to release him. So, sir, all this service have I done since I went. So Ariel just finishes describing. He must have been describing in detail whatever he was doing for as long as he was not here, not present, and was gone. So he gives a detailed report to Prospero and ends his speech by saying these few words which are mentioned here. So these are all the services that I have done or I have completed ever since I was gone from here. Prospero says aside to Ariel, my tricksy spirit, my spirit, you are really resourceful, my ever resourceful or full of devices. You are a very meticulous, very resourceful, very deviceful spirit. I am so happy that you have performed the task which I had given you. And then Alonso in the meantime continues, because these two are speaking aside, so it's only meant for the audience. The others present are not able to hear what Prospero is saying to Ariel. They cannot see Ariel, and they probably notice Prospero talking to someone, but there is no one in front. So then Alonso says, These are not natural events. They strengthen from strange to stranger. So, these events which have happened so far, these are not very natural. In fact, things are growing stranger by degrees. It's very difficult for us to understand why all these strange things are happening ever since we came near this island. Say, how came you hither? Tell me, how did you both manage to come here? Asking the boatswain and the master of the ship as to how they had come to that particular place. And the boatswain says, if I did think, sir, I were well awake, I'd strive to tell you. Sir, if I would have not been asleep, I could have been able to tell you. Actually, I don't remember anything. What he means to say is that he does not remember anything. He says, if I could persuade myself to believe, sir, that I was well awake and in possession of my senses, then I might try to tell you the entire story. But frankly speaking, I have no idea. I was everything has gone blank. My mind has gone blank. I have no idea exactly what had happened after that storm or that tempest. So he says this, we were dead of sleep, and how we know not, all clapped under hatches. Frankly speaking, I have no idea. We were all fast asleep, and we were under the hatches. What are the hatches? The hatches refers to the area below the deck of the ship. Its meaning is explained here. You can always see the meanings. So we were all asleep under the deck of the ship, where but even now with strange and several noises of roaring, shrieking, howling, jingling, chains and more diversity of sounds, all horrible, we were awaked. Well, we were sleeping under the deck of the ship, and then suddenly we heard all these types of sounds, jingling sounds and noises, which actually caused us to wake up. We were awakened and straight away at liberty. And the moment we got up or woke up, we found that we were liberated, we were free, that there was no restriction, nobody was restricting us, holding us back. So there was an entire diversity of sounds, and these sounds caused us to wake up. We were awaked straight away at liberty, where we in all her trim freshly beheld our royal good and gallant ship, our master capering to eye her. And the moment we woke up, we came out on the deck. From below the deck, we came out upon the deck of the ship, and the master of the ship, the captain of a ship, always has a personal attachment with his vessel. So the captain became so happy to see the ship fit and fine, equipped well, and with no damage, nothing whatsoever. And he immediately began dancing in joy. The captain or the master started capering to eye her, to see her. Her refers to the ship, and to eye means to see or to watch. As soon as we came out on the deck of the ship, the captain looked around and saw that the ship was fit and fine, well equipped, and nothing had been done, no damage had been done to it. He felt so happy, and he started dancing in joy. On a trice, so please you. So in a moment, if it pleases you. So that is how it happened. So we stop here. We have come to the end of page 115, and that's enough for today's class. I hope I have been able to make you understand very clearly. I have explained line by line. We'll continue again from page 116 in our next Tempest class. So till then, keep watching this video. If you have not understood, go